In our Open HPI course about cyber threats by malware, we now want to discuss how malware finds its way to your computer. We already mentioned malware is the central attack vector in the internet. It is one of the central weapons of the cyber criminals. The devices of users, the computer systems, they could be a potential target for malware. So with malware, the end-user systems can be infected. With malware, also the service providers' systems can be infected. So potentially, home computers are more vulnerable to malware attacks over the internet because typically the protection is less than with professional service providers. So malware are especially easy to use for attacks. So malware offers a wide range of functionalities and unlimited possibilities for attacks when the attacker manage to install such malware on the computer systems of the users, on the devices of the users, then they have an easy game to do their bad work. So what they want to use by such attacks, they want to misuse computing power. They want to utilize computing power for their own purposes, typically criminal and bad purposes. They want to do data destruction, data theft, data manipulation. They want to destruct entire computer systems. They want to send and show advertisements to earn money for doing this. They often create fear in the user and then they misuse this fear for their purpose. We will see this in more detail. To send blackmail, to perform espionage, many other activities are performed by means of malware. Now the question is how the malware here from the hacker comes over the internet to the system of the users. So the cyber criminals first, they develop the malware. They develop the malware to infect the victim systems. There is a large library of such malware. Often malware is adapted to a certain purpose, to a certain attack purpose. So the cyber criminal prepare such a malware and then they send it, they try to get it installed on the user systems. So one way, for example, is that the cyber criminals inject the malware to a medium. For example, to such an application, an email or a website or others, and then in case of email, send this email over the internet to the user. And when the victim accesses the medium, for example, to open the email and to open the attachment of the email, then the malware which is hidden in that attachment is installing itself in the victim's computer system. The victim's user doesn't become aware of that. So at the end, his system or certain programs or applications are infected. The user is not aware of that. The user uses the systems, uses these applications, and then the malware can do its bad work. So the attack vector of such malware attacks is in general that the malware need to be installed on the computer systems of the victim. There are different possibilities to do this. The human factor, social engineering methods to convince the user to do for some good reason installing the software. or technical factors, technical failures can be misused, so that the malware is installed at the user's system, and then it becomes easy for the attacker. So the attack here is how to get this malware installed on the user system. Let's discuss this attack vector human, the user. So often victims' lack of attention is enough to get a malware installed on his or her computer system. The malware could also be injected into the computer system by social engineering. For example, promising the user to install some important program the user wants to have, and misusing this also to install then a malware beside of this good software. So examples, I already mentioned this: open an email with a malicious attachment, or downloading something from the internet, for example, a new application or information, special information, or a game or something like that. And then after download, opening that system which was infected by malware, then the malware is installed on the side of the user. So if we look to some statistics, then it's about half and half that people open an unknown attachment or application. About the half doesn't do this. So here we see almost a half which opens such unknown attachments for curiosity or carelessness or negligence or others. So this is, then the attacker have won. The attacker in this way, as soon as the user opens this attachment, the malware will install on his system. Also, the promise here in the internet, you can install some helpful software to clean your system, or even to find out whether there is malware on your system. Often such systems that are available in the internet are infected with malware. Malware is hidden in that programs, and the user that wants to have this functionality on his system is downloading the system, and then he or she also downloads the malware hidden in that system. Another way to your computer is to misuse USB sticks. So connecting a foreign USB stick which was infected, or which malware was installed, and in the moment the USB stick is connected, and data are Explorer is used to see what is stored on this USB stick. Then in that system, the malware already infects the computer. And then public Wi-Fi networks are a way to bring systems malware to your computer. We will discuss this in certain points when we speak about different types of malware, even in more detail. Here, in the general, after the attack vector human, I want also to mention the attack vector technical. Technical is that malware could infect the computer system without any user interaction. So this is more difficult for the cyber criminals. They exploit available vulnerabilities in the system of the victim, in the system they want to target. And then if they see that there are inadequate security protection measures, or that there are some failures in the configuration, then they find a way to install their malware. In the same network, if sometimes a computer gets infected in a network, then it's also highly probable that also other computers in that network get infected without any kind of interaction. So it's really dangerous, this malware, and the attack vector is for the cyber criminals how to get the malware installed at the user's system.